what we need to do throughout the property. But I'm gonna come back and say, renovating buildings, you cannot project it unless you know if you're going to assess for it and how much you're gonna have, and then you can put a timeline on it.
Okay,
Well,
thank
that
you.
was the
Okay,
thing.
Yeah, okay.
answered. Thank you.
My name is Albert. I've been here for about 9 years, and throughout that time, seen a number of boards, and their operations have always had a question mark at the end of it as to irregularities or things not done properly, and so we're at a stage now where we're getting what I consider unconscionable increases because a lot of us are retired, a lot of us don't know where the next penny is coming from. And I hear how we're going to resolve the problem financial-wise, we're going to have to pay more money and things. But what I have not heard, and this is where I'm very serious now, is going forward, what steps are going to be taken so that these irregularities and things do not continue, because there is a big question mark and a cash involvement when these irregularities take place. Something has got to be done that going forward, when we reach the plateau that we want to reach, that these things don't happen again. Someone has to be held accountable. It's always the unit owners who have to pay.
Okay,
I will speak to that, sir. What do you mean by irregularities?
In various presentations, we hear, the past 2 years, we all know what happened, we're aware of it,
Thank you.
And you go back,
Okay,
I can go on.
I got it. I will put it as simply as I possibly can. We are done with irregularities as of yesterday. There are no irregularities. I promise you. You want to pay your light bill, you have to have enough money to pay your light bill. Nobody anymore can play games of any kind with money. It's a pay-as-you-go system. I'll tell you this to make it as simply as I possibly can. We're on a cash basis now. We're going to have enough money to pay our bills tomorrow, next week, next month. We think we're okay for the coming year, especially with the maintenance increase. No irregularities. But where are we in reality? The reality is, and what all of you have to do, is understand that this board sees its job as twofold. One, it's time to be upfront and above board and explain where every dime is going. No irregularities. Two, we're going to have two big things that happen in the future that are going to be very expensive. One is a refinancing, if possible, of the Wells Fargo loan. Two is this 40-year certification that Jason has been talking about all this time, about which we know one thing. It's a stack of papers this high.
Mark, let me just say something. The gentleman's asking, we go to a new board. We vote more people in. We don't even know who we're voting in. We get another board who is focused a different way. We get another board who is not as honest as this board.
We're focused differently.
Yeah, focused differently. We have a board now that is long-term, thank you, Lord, that you're long-term and you're getting us to the future. We voted another board who is short-term and wants to decorate everything, update everything.
I'm
And
trying
there
to,
goes our money again. So please explain to me how that's going to.
I'm trying to explain it. And what I'm trying to explain is, we have expenses to be paid, they will be paid. We have two big nuts to straighten out as soon as we possibly can, because it's going to amount to a lot of money. Our job as the board is to help all of you understand what's happening money-wise as far out as we can explain it, so that you can then sit down, and this is the way I feel that every one of you has to behave. You've got to have an honest appraisal of where we are money-wise, so that in the near term, the intermediate term, and the far term. That's our job, as I see it. You will then have the ammunition to be able to sit down and decide, can I afford to live here? Can I have my son help me a little bit? Will that get me through?
Can I?
Our job, and the only way the board is going to be able to help you, the only way, other than to being as exactly honest as we can, is to see if we can extend out the amounts of money that are going to have to be paid for the Wells Fargo loan and the 40-year certification.
Okay, Mark.
Okay, can I?
Got what they're asking.
Adler, 1 second. I think there's 2 questions here. One is really the politics of things, and the other are the facts. And I'm very proud to be on this board in the sense of the facts. We're trying to put the facts out there, and that's what Mark is doing, and he's a fact man. Okay, the politics is different, and that we have to lay at your feet. Okay, you're the electorate and the people that you are in contact with. Okay, you have to determine. If you determine, for example, that this big assessment in 4 months is really not what you wanted to see, and you don't understand it, and you want to get somebody else in, you may get in people that create problems. We're trying to address problems with the dollars that we have, and then looking into the future, the dollars that we need. Okay, and it's up to you. The politics of the situation, if you're going to elect people that have more self-interest for themselves, then they're going to do what benefits them. Okay? We're not doing that.
Hang on a minute. Number one, let me just address one thing. You want to know who we're going to get re-elect next, who we're going to bring into the board.
No. What I want to know is,
Irregularities will not be repeated.
You've got to get honest people on your board.
That's it.
You want honest people, you run for the board.
Yeah.
Run for the board.
Yeah.
Why not?
Run for the board. Run for the board. Go, take the community by your own hands instead of trusting them to people that you don't know.
It's true.
Get on the board.
that's no guarantee.
No.
All right, right back there. I don't want arguments.
She's been raising her hand.
That's fine.
I have 2 questions. One is, either for
Your name and where you live?
Miriam Gordon in St. Moritz, 1C. I have a question for Jason. The 40% that you said that you cut, what areas did you cut? And the second question is, is the delinquency. Where are we at in the delinquency?
It's on the table. Put it on the table.
Okay. We've cut in areas of contracting. We've cut in areas of expenditures in over expenditures in certain maintenance items. We have about 25% that we were able to save in changing vendors on where we purchase things. So also part of that 40% is adding, when you do a budget, you're looking at cutting your expenses and increasing your income. There's 2 parts of a budget to get to the bottom line. To increase our income, we know that we have rents that will come in. We know that our bad debt expense will go down because of either foreclosing or estoppels or other people buying, and that decreases the delinquency, which increases the money that you have in your budget to keep, okay? As to where we stand with our delinquencies, we are where we were probably 3-4 months ago. We're probably 3 to 4% better than where we were. So we are slowly getting it to a better percentage for us. I think that's probably the best answer I can give you without having an actual number here. I mean, to talk in general percentages. Did I answer your question, Mary?
Do you think it's a good idea to cut back on the maintenance? Because the maintenance is really lacking.
I didn't say we cut down on the maintenance. I said we renegotiated where we get our supplies from, so it saved. We're getting the same products at maybe 20% less money around.
Okay, my name is Krista Smith. I live in the Orleans building. One question I have, there is a budget meeting coming up where you're going to vote on an other assessment. Once that is passed, are we in the black, are we above water, or are we still in the red?
Okay, Mark, you can answer that.
I don't even understand the question.
Hopefully, we'll be just right.
There you go. Hey, just right.
The amount of money coming in will equal the amount of money going out, and there'll be no irregularities or hanky-panky,
Good, and I hope the maintenance,
as best we can tell.
good.
That's for the forthcoming year.
All right, speaking of the future now, are we gonna upgrade the village to say solar, or probably put some panels on the roof, sell back the power to FPNL? Maybe
Bring it to the board.
some of the lighting we'll put in like on the highways, they have the solar panels that charge the lights and some of that stuff. Are we gonna, is there plans for the future? Maybe going digital so we reduce the copying and the paper and the postage. That's significant savings right there.
Who's gonna pay for it if you have no money?
I'm asking about the future, sir.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
not
no.
today.
Wait, Frank.
Okay, we can't answer the future. We can't answer the future. We have to get things done today, and then you bring it up later, write it down, give it to the board. Okay, there's nothing it's not for this meeting.
Well, it's an open forum, and I think the future is important because
Absolutely.
I'm not saying we're gonna allocate or dedicate funds to it, but the thought of creating a new future is very important.
Absolutely.
It gives hope to people, and if this is what this is about right now, giving hope and giving everyone a sense of prosperity, then the future is very important.
Very good, very good.
I
Absolutely.
think we all agree with that.
Yeah, we do. We all agree with that. Okay, this lady in the yellow, for who's first?
Who hasn't spoken? What?
Yes, I do.
If we make close to 700,000 a year, maybe I'm done by the calculation. How much are our great expenses here? How come we're not making it with 2,700,000 income a year?
Good question.
We have answered.
I know Jason can give the right answer, so question these things because a lot of us here wonder.
This has been answered many times. He's gone through the whole budget. We've told you everything that needs to be known. It was said by Mark and Jason about our budget and where we're at, where we're going.
Also, I made a remark where I said that in the office, there are people that really nice, do their best to give us comfort here, but there are complaints about people that work here and that there are sometimes when they ask for questions or things, they are cut off like they're not human. And all I'm saying, I've been living here, I've been living here close to 7 years. I've seen board change, I've seen people in the office change. Work with the people that live here and be kind to them and treat them with respect.
All right.
A 2-second answer. It's a very good point you're bringing up. It is my responsibility as running this property, if you have any issue, if anybody has any issue with the way they're spoken to, with the way they are being handled by any of my staff, I welcome you. You have my email, you have my business cards, you know where my office is. Come and see me. I will fix the problem. We are here for you. That's the bottom line.
That's right, we pay your salary.
Everybody pays
Yeah,
salary.
No,
one,
we
one,
have one more.
one item, excuse me just one moment, Krista. There's one item in the budget that I'm quite upset about, and it appears to be practically 10% of the budget, and that is our legal fees. And it's mind-boggling to me that we're in that situation, and I'm not proud of it, being on the board, that every time something comes up, we have to call our lawyer rather than get answers through the very smart board members that we have. So I think that can be a help if we can figure out how not to make our attorney our best buddy.
I would like to know what our credit rating is.
We don't have one.
Why not?
Why not? Because we have a 20% delinquency rate and no bank would consider lending money to us.
Oh my
Until we fix that, we're going to have a problem. Which is why I said before, because of the good things we've done, we may have a chance with Wells Fargo. Not necessarily. The banks go purely by delinquency. And if you have a greater than 5% delinquency, you've got a problem getting financed.
Hi, my name is Kirk Williams. I live in the Edelweiss building.
Put that closer to you, Ken.
And I live in the Edelweiss building, and I want to answer my neighbor's question because I know he didn't get what he was looking for. They're right. Sir, I know they don't tell you this when you move in, but we are always one election away from disaster. That's life because of the way that our self-governance is structured. You do not, unless the election, all we can do is vote in people, but after that, the board has absolute power. That's how it is. Well, how has it been serving us? Exactly. Mark, I got a quick question for you because I'm having a little confusion with what you're saying and what I understand. The phrasing. We have a line of credit of $7 million with Wells Fargo, which we've been paying down.
No.
Has that been converted into a loan then?
Francis, he's talking.
Has that been turned into a loan? It's no
Yes.
longer a line of credit?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I understand.
For the historical point, we had after Wilma a $7 million line of credit that we paid interest only on. In 2009, that line of credit stopped and was replaced by the current Wells Fargo loan, which at that point in time, February 27th, 2009, was $4,500,000. Since that time, especially with the new payments coming up, we will have reduced that loan to $2,850,000, which is where we will stand as of Monday or Tuesday. Remember the specifics. The loan is callable by Wells Fargo on February 27th, 2014. The loan that you're paying your special assessments on, which paid for that loan, keep going until August 28th of 2018. It's a very peculiar kind of document. So we have to do something. Wells Fargo has the right to call the loan a year from February 27th. We're going to have to try to do something about that loan and hopefully extend it out if they will do it. They have given us no promises up to this point in time. We're going to try. It's one of the things that the board can do, which is to take these coming burdens and try to finance them properly so that if there is an additional expense to all of us, it will be at least manageable by some or most of us.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Margaret wants to say something.
Just want to say two things. One very slight. In my mind, our special assessment is not a loan. I'm sorry to disagree with you. You use the word loan when you apply it to the special assessment. It's not a loan. It's an agreement to pay X number of dollars per month through 2018. It's not a loan.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
The loan is with the bank.
Well, yeah. Well,
Wait a minute, the special assessment is an agreement with International Village to pay X amount of dollars per month until 2018. The deal with the bank is a loan.
Exactly. This is what I was saying.
Okay.
There's an agreement between the association and me, which is what we call the special assessment, and then there's a loan between the association and the bank, and they're not necessarily tied together. And the other statement is just a general one. I've been a unit owner since January of '06, and I've seen several boards, I've seen several managements. And this is the first time since I've been here that we have a fully professional management company handling the property. And this is the most upfront group of directors who are absolutely committed to full, open, transparent reporting, and frankly, I'm very proud to be a part of it. So I just want to give you that.
I have a question too. I guess Francis is. May I ask a question?
Yes.
If it's short and sweet.
It has to do with the amendment for reducing the directors from 9 to 7. If the amendment is there a requirement, like there is for the reserve, for a certain percentage of respondents before, if they don't respond, then the full reserve goes into place. Is there that same requirement for the amendments, or is it strictly a time?